So I have the red light on Stella, so that's glow. And I'm giving up sleep time. But I keep staying up later uh, now because it's light longer. But I don't know. She just goes to sleep, and then for a little block, and then she gets up, then goes to sleep. So I just try and catch a few of her blocks and go to sleep for a little while. And she just is demanding. I mean, that's just the way it is. So, I'm not just trying to bitch. I'm just saying. It's just facts. Um, and there was a couple things I was going to talk about, even though it's not quite the next day. It is, I don't know, 10 hours later. No, I'm not sure. I don't know when it was. I have talked so much on TikTok that I'm not sure. Like, it's sometimes it just all merges in together. It's like, man, I don't even know. I don't know if I've said all the things on here. So I might repeat myself on some of the things I say. Um, because I don't know. So, wow, it's funny to watch some of these people, like the political people, because they are serious and they're talking serious business. And they're not all conspiracy theorists, they're serious business. So they try and make a point, like, I don't believe in these conspiracies, but there's just this nonstop backpedaling. It's just like, oh my God, I cannot wait for some of this stuff to be, I just feel like it's close to the flipping over. Like, I see a somersault that's like about to go. So I feel like it's close to the flipping over, but, it's still tedious. And I have had, oh my God, the harassment by some of these people. Like, I think I said earlier, but I don't know. But there was a video somebody had done, and it was showing this flashlight thing. And I have gotten all these people who keep coming in and saying just snotty stuff. They're just so rude. And it's so weird, too, because there's like huge accounts and stuff, and they'll be completely rude. But I just keep on being like, that is so weird that these people don't like. And how many times I have been called because I said something about the firmament. I'm obviously a Christian, so I keep flipping it back over on them. I was like, you are got biases. It's absurd. Anything. I mean, these people, I don't know. They've all got their stuff to wake up. I bet I planted a lot of seeds today. I called out a lot of bullshit. Like, especially with the people who keep saying I'm a Christian because I say there's a firmament. It's like, okay, well, I could do. And another thing too that drives me so fucking crazy is, so I have so many people talking to me, like a ton of people talking to me. I don't know if they all think like I'm the only one they're the only one I'm talking to, and I should be able to keep it straight, all of what they think. I have some that tell me every second, like, and so anyways, it's like a lot of talking to people, and I speak what I believe. I speak my truth. That is what I'm about, and that's what I try and push others to do. And it's fine if your truth is different than my truth, but you shouldn't come and push your truth on me. Like, I'm not going and pushing my truth on anybody. I'm just expressing my truth. And whether someone listens or doesn't listen is up to them. I'm not going and, knocking on your door and saying, hey, sit down and listen. And so it's your choice to listen to me. But there is these people, and they all come at me, and they want to get me to think the way they think. And it's so crazy is like there's so many that they think, like, they'll talk to me, and then they think that we've bonded or something, like we are close somehow, and I owe them my dedication to their beliefs. And it's like, no. I honestly, I don't even really know you, and I don't owe you to change my beliefs into what you think. And so many of these people, like, if I say what I believe, and what I think and how I view things, then that is somehow negative. One person told me I was other people, we could handle it, but other people can't. So, I need to not. It's like, what? No. I know. And one thing that came so strong into my head is that I'm not going to dim my light for anybody. And so, but to come in I felt it was so manipulative. And I'll have that happen too. Like there's always this backpedaling. No, that's not. No, you're taking it wrong. Always the gaslight. No, you're taking it wrong. How I meant it is different than how you're taking it. It's like, how do you know? Because how I'm taking it is how it's being taken. So however you meant it, I don't know. But I know how I'm taking it. And you keep trying to push me and make me feel like I need to believe what you believe. And I need to act the way that you see as being acceptable. And I need to stay on the narrative that you approve of. It's like, that is, no. And I don't know if it is like, that they feel like I owe them something or something because, they agreed with me about copper. And so then, they think like, that I'm a certain way. And maybe some of these people do think I'm religious. It seems like the most people who come at me are the love and light people. Well, you need to only focus on this and this reality. And no, I don't even know the stuff. And it's like, no. And it's so, I don't know, it's like offensive. Seriously, like, where do you get off coming and telling me? And because that's what you believe? I mean, it's the same thing as these Christian people who think like, because what they believe, everybody has to believe the same thing. I've dealt with this my whole motherfucking life. And now you got these people claiming to be the super spirits, and that they are telling me that I need to conform to this love and light agenda. I need to focus my energy into the whatever the fuck. It's like, you go do whatever you want to do, but don't come and push it on me. And, it just really is this constant confirmation of like how important your boundaries are as you're healing, as you are going through things. And you'll have people who think like you're in alignment. And this is like, I don't know, the shuffling, like if you absorb yourself into somebody else, then you're not defining yourself. And so that's where you stop and question yourself again. Like, why am I trying to get here? Why am I conforming, changing what I believe into what they believe to make them happy? What am I doing here? Why do I think that? And you got to go through it, because it could be a whole bunch of different things. It's not like I could tell you. You got to go into yourself. Yourself knows. And you got to go in and ask yourself and get to the core of it. Because otherwise, you got to keep aligning to yourself, and setting boundaries, and see these as interference, as like part of the game coming in to test you, to check you and see like where you stand. And you do hurt people's feelings, 100%. I have hurt so many people's feelings, and I have, but I gotta be honest. I gotta be real. And if I feel like you're coming at me, I'm gonna say you're coming at me. And if you're gonna try and tell me, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. And a lot of people, are not. That is one thing I found for a long time. People expect you to be fake. People expect you to be phony. There's parameters. There's a, hi, good morning, how you doing? Like, do you really fucking care? Like, are we gonna go through this? It's like, get to the point. What do you want? And that offends the fuck out of people. And I think it is absurd. Like, what is all this little playing games? Like, just call and say, hey, Kelly, I wanted to talk to you. Could you do this? I was asked, I think that is one thing too that we've gotten down to with texting, is getting a lot more to the point. Not all this, like, I don't know, some people could have relationships where it's just all this, like, we're going to go around in circles before we get in there, because I'll be too vulnerable if I go in and ask you something. That's just, whoa. I couldn't put myself out there that much. And so we'll just spin around and I'll try and get you to read my mind and keep playing games and trying to show you what I'm thinking instead of just speaking my truth. And I mean, that's been something that people are so accustomed to doing. And so a lot of people expect you to be that way. They find it offensive if you are honest or you say what you think or whatever, however you want to label it and stuff. There's just there's like an acceptable amongst the group way of interaction that is fake and phony, not ever real, not ever authentic, and it protects both parties. And so they're into agreement, into alignment. And if you come in and make waves through that, then you're the weirdo. You're the one who's got a problem. I was like, well, I'm going to say what I think. And so anyways, but if somebody comes in and starts telling me how I think that somebody needs to be called out. Like, seriously, you may go in and listen to what I'm saying, but that is not me pushing my beliefs on you. You can turn it off at any point. There is nothing I am doing. And and if somebody says their beliefs, I'm not going to, tell you that, well, you can't have your beliefs. You can believe whatever the fuck you want to believe. It's not up to me. You got to follow your beliefs. You got to go where you are. You can't go somewhere because if it's something you don't believe and you're going to try and force yourself, what would be the point of that? Well, how is that productive? You can only go, oh, my nose is itchy. You can only go to the level of your understanding. You can't force yourself to understand things you don't understand. There is a walking pattern for you to get to where you're supposed to go. We're not all going to the same train station. We all have different destinations. There's no reason for us to try and be exactly like one another and to have all the same goals and the same, same destination, like, the same itinerary or whatever. We all have freedom of choice, and we all have our own experience. And another thing too that I was really noticing and thinking about is how many people, that their persona that they have created to play in this game is seriously like a first what would that be called? I'm not like a techie person or a gamer or whatever, but it's like the firstborn in the game, and it's like the beginning or something, and then the ones after, then they get more better or something because they work out all the bugs or whatever. I can't think of what it's called, but that is kind of what everybody has created. Their avatar is kind of like first game, like I don't know. It is basic. I don't know. My nose is so itchy now. It's probably got boogers coming out of it. Who knows? I don't want to sit here and pick my nose, but I feel like I should. God, I can't breathe. So anyways, let me think what I was saying. So the people like have created these avatars to be in the game, but they're not of any kind of depth, or they're like first generation. That's what it's called, like first generation. There's like first generation creation of self, and it is so involved in how everybody else perceives them, and in pleasing everybody else, and like I said, this accepted conforming to one another, so is to not have to have boundaries or anything. But then it is like okay, so it's like somebody, man, it's like the containment is created by the values set probably in our programming, where it is like, oh, that's needy, oh, that's this, oh, that's being a bitch, oh, that's that, like this, it's like the cage, it's like the bars in the cage is created by what everybody decides is acceptable, and somehow it becomes like a contained situation where people don't have to grow, People don't challenge one another. They don't trust one another. They don't really appreciate or care for one another. I think love is such a far off concept, because when people don't love themselves, how can they be giving love? Like, what they're trying to do is take love. They're trying to feel love, because they're trying to find it. What is love? And then how many of us were confused by just having excited feelings, the first time you saw somebody, a certain person or whatever. It could have been like elementary school. First time you saw a boy with black hair. You're like, oh my God, he's so cute. And your heart's pumping away. And that is, somehow we've mistaken this for love. And, and we've all learned through our relationships of, that what isn't love. And I think we've all come to an understanding once we all start putting all the information together, and sharing it. Because, like the different things that I've definitely learned is, so many people pick people by what they look like, and don't even get to know them on the inside. And it's so crazy is how many people, like, to me, like, my problem was I let other people pick me. So I was always letting other people pick me. And then I would think, like, whatever, it's like an expectation or something. And there was lots of people, I didn't go and choose them by their looks or something. I mean, if somebody didn't have to be gorgeous or something, I would go out with them, and that would bother people too. And but I would, go out with all these different guys. I wanted to get to know the person. It wasn't about what somebody looked like to me. It was more of like, who is this person? And I always knew, like, that these people who are crossing our paths are there to teach us. I just had a lot of stuff to learn about relationships and interactions with people and stuff, but I definitely learned that you cannot determine who somebody is on the inside by what they look like on the outside. And a lot of people, you can't just go like, well, I'm gonna, because there's people who think, well, I'm gonna go out with people who aren't as attractive because they're not going to be so full of themselves or something. But you can go with some of those people, and then they can be very like the self-loathing or game playing. Like, there's like most people out there have got issues. Well, I think most of us went around thinking it was like us, but it's most people. We were all trying to make it in a world that was full of toxic bullshit behavior. And we all just accepted it. And look at how this drags out of what people are willing to accept from their government. Like the abuse. And, like, here, give me another. And it's like, what is that? I think it's a movie line that I am hearing in my head. Thank you, sir. Give me another, or something like that. I think it was, maybe it was like Officer and the Gentleman or something. But yeah, that is what it's like. People are like, and then I swear to God, just stuff like that. There is, I mean, not in that movie, like, he endures or whatever, rises from the ashes. But all of our programming has set parameters and created like our reality of like what we accept and how we look at things and stuff. The programming has really programmed people. It's not just like, well, maybe. No, it's totally programmed people. And so anyways, and you see all these people who are, completely just lost. I swear to God, I don't even understand what was that one? I just saw this person. Was it a tarot person? It was a tarot person. And they said, oh, They said something, they were reading the card thing, and then they said, oh, well, but I don't believe in destiny. I was like, well, I don't understand these people who speak about spiritual things and hasn't studied spirituality. Like, there's more to spirituality. Like, even with the reading the cards, like, and a lot of these people think that they're all so connected, but then it's like, but they don't, it's like they don't understand anything about spirituality. But I mean, you got to connect to yourself, even if you don't understand anything about spirituality. But it's just weird when they're out there saying things. That is where you can't get all caught up in what other people think. Like, you can't be thinking, well, destiny isn't real. That person said it's not real. Don't just go with that kind of stuff. There's like so many people out here saying stuff and they don't have any idea. They are all confused and they're just waking up. Like, they've only been awake a short time. And when you start learning, like I've said, I've been living my life through a spiritual perspective on life since I was young. And so there is it makes it where you see things, you understand things, you see patterns, you understand how things work, and you have guides talking to you, telling you. And so destiny is real. Like, what anybody else thinks is, it's fine. Maybe nobody else is living on destiny or something. Maybe it's just me. But to me, destiny is real. And believe you me, I have fucking tested the motherfucking hell out of it. And you cannot force things to happen. And I can manifest like crazy. I mean, I'm going to have my implants out here in a couple of weeks. So it is, and manifesting is setting your mind, it's setting your sails towards a target, even if it makes no sense. Even if you're like, well, I won't be able to do it. Well, I can't have that. Well, that doctor won't. You don't get caught up in that. And you continue. To me, I had to like reel it in a few times, like there was a few times where I would be like, trying to, well, I'll call this one, do this and do that. And I had to be like, okay, wait, it will come to me. I don't have to force anything. It will come to me. And then it'll come to you. It's like you have to keep having that understanding. And so when you've been focused on these certain things and you've been living in this way and talking to your guides and stuff, you start seeing things in a certain way. You start understanding. And that is how like timing works. It's how the people are where they're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there and you're supposed to cross paths. It's because it's destiny. It's because it's set up. We are in a replay. It was like the story was written and we came in to play the part. And then people get all caught up in their parts. And they are underdeveloped. The cool thing about what is going to happen, and this is something another thing that drives me motherfucking crazy, is these people who try and say like this is negative. What was this person just telling me? Because they said, oh, well, you shouldn't talk all doom and gloom. And I said, you can see it how you want. Like, I don't see doom and gloom. I see endings and beginnings. And I'm going to fucking talk about what I see. Like, I don't care if you are focused on it's good or bad, it's light or good, it's whatever. It's all this black and white, doom and gloom, or what? What is your alternative? Like, we are in a period of time that is doom and gloom. Like, if you cannot fucking notice that, I don't know what to goddamn tell you. We are in the ending. This is an ending. So, yeah, I would hope the ending would be kind of dark, because that is where the light comes in. When the beginning is where everything starts over. Everything begins again. And it's like our do-over, our start over with everything we've learned. That is when people will really begin to develop themselves, not just this fake, first generation avatar that they've created that is so dependent on how everybody else views them. It is really getting to me about the filters and the women who keep using them, and these women who, I swear to God, some of them get so fucking cocky. you know, they turn into this persona. They put on this bold glamour, and then they turn into this persona. And it's like the weirdest thing. And not only is this like, I mean, for one thing, I don't understand, like, do you never want to go out in public or something? Like, to me, I would think, I would feel so, have people see me out in public, like, I don't know, that to me is kind of like on the dating app when they put their picture from 20 years ago. Like, I'm never that person. Like, oh, I'm going to put an old picture and then I'm going to show up 100 pounds heavier and you're looking way different. And, you know, so, yeah, and I've heard people have those stories so many times. I've heard and listened to what they think about it and what they say about it. And I've had enough people show up, like, who have had, I don't know, because I went on the dating apps a couple of times. I've gone on a couple of dates. And every time they show up, it's like, and it's so uncomfortable. I can totally see, like, it's very uncomfortable. I don't know. The whole thing is just stupid to me. I think dating, I think that it's like a juvenile, primitive way of interaction. It's kind of desperate, especially on dating apps and stuff. And so I'm way more about organic, like crossing paths. And so it's, and you will, like, however it is, even if it's online or something, you will find each other. And so, whatever, I just don't, with the dating thing. But that's what it seems like. So many of these girls are like, but it's kind of like they're hiding from themselves instead of getting more comfortable with themselves. And some of them, I think, you know, they start getting really caught up in, like, their following starts growing. And so then they want to look good all the time or put out a certain image or something. I don't know. But so then they start using it all the time. But then I think it creates you to lose confidence in yourself, because why do you feel like you need to put on this mask all the time? Even if you're telling yourself excuses, you know, and I know some people, like, really feel a lot more confident and comfortable, but I swear to God, the whole thing, it creates discomfort. I mean, like, if those things didn't exist, I think the women would learn to be more confident. It's like a way to hide from it, so you don't have to work on your confidence, so you can just hide from it. And it's like putting on a mask so you don't have to heal something. And there's so much of it right now. And you know, and I know, you know, that a lot of women, they don't have that much confidence, and they feel like, you know, that gives them more confidence. And, you know, you got to do what you got to do, but just have the awareness that it's, I think it is very, like, it seems like it's doing one thing, but inside it's doing something else. Just like how the medicine, like all the different stuff, it always seems like it's doing one thing, but it's doing the opposite. And there was another thing coming into my head really strong when I was talking about that. So hold on a second. Let me see. I'm pulling the threads on my chair. I'm always pulling the threads on my chair. Let me think what it was. It was, oh yeah, because there's also these filters that do, like, your hand. That today, this really just got me, because I've seen it before, but it really stood out to me today. And they're having their eyes scanned so that they could see how more about their eye color and how unique it is and different things and stuff. I was like, people have got to stop doing this. I'm telling you, they are looking for something. And I've seen some other things now saying that. I don't know what they are, some kind of old CIA report or whatever. I just know that they've been looking for people. They've been looking for certain people this whole time. And I always felt like it was kind of like a target on my back, just because I was always talking to these other beings. And so now, knowing that they were, so I feel like it must be something, like, I don't know if it is like in our DNA or something that can show like a certain kind of psychic thing or something. I don't know. Because that's what they were doing in that testing. That's why they took Corey Good. That's why they took all those people, because they showed signs of being psychic. And so I don't know. But also on the palm of my hand, because when I was, I don't know, I think it was like 2017, like when I was getting into the tarot and the Reiki and all that stuff. And I was looking at the palm. I'd gone to some palm readers and stuff before. So I was looking at different things on the palm, because I was wondering, like, what are they looking at? What do they see? Because I've had a lot of different readings. And so I was looking at some of the videos, and then I saw I like have a bunch of rare things on my hand, a bunch of rare, supposedly rare markings, I don't know, but they're having those scans. They want you to sit and scan your palm so that they can read it. It's like, I'm telling you, it is not just for fun and entertainment. They are fucking looking. And then people are just so oblivious. It's like, you guys, this is way more sci-fi than you understand. I mean, they are scanning and looking for something. And then the same thing with your eye. You got to think that what is the window of your soul? Is your eyes. And so, and they're in there looking, and people are getting all into this eye color thing about, well, this means this and this means that, and I'm from, planet Zeus because my eyes are this, and all this stuff going on. It's like, I don't know. I think, just go with how you feel. Don't have it based on, like, what somebody else says about somebody's eye colors and what your eye colors and how you're going to get, go with what is your internal guidance. What are you pulled towards? What is it, something that keeps standing out to you? What is it, something that is always like, you keep noticing something and you're like, man, I keep noticing that. That is when they're trying to draw your attention. And oh yeah, that thing about the archons and the knife thing, the scissors, oh my God, the sharp things, it's insane. I can't even tell you how many times I've been doing dishes and I turn around to turn something and there's that fucking knife sticking straight up like that. It's like, what in the holy hell? And the other day I'm cleaning the gutters on the house, and there was all these sharp things, and I was like, oh my gosh, I keep getting cut constantly. It is I don't know if it is like an energy that can, kind of like if we were walking around, think about if you're like walking around and you trip and you're stumbling and you are falling around, like knocking into things or something. It's like their energy can like shove us around or something. It can open jars. Like, I don't know who opened the jar that day, but it was somebody who obviously wanted me to eat beets, because they could hear me. I was sitting there having the whole conversation, because I'm always talking in telepathy, but I don't know who all is always listening, and but they opened the beets, because I didn't know. I couldn't get them open for shit. I got so many problems with my hands of trying to open things. And so I've been in a store parking lot before, and I got like a juice, and I was trying to open it. I couldn't get it. I had to go ask somebody in a different car to open my juice for me. I was like, God, on my hand, I don't know what it is. It's like, and it's right where they say our energy comes out, like of Spider-Man. But it hurts right there to me. And I don't know if that's like energies. I'm going to start massaging it more. Maybe the energy's clogged up. I don't know, because it seems like if the energy, I don't know. I never even put that together before. But now I'm going to think about that. And, another thing too, is I've been doing all of this, trying to move this lymph from this. I swear to God, it is making a difference on this. I think if you've got any kind of growths or something, well, I would say anywhere on your body, and there's all these people getting diagnosed with cancer. And I saw a guy doing a video, well, he was live, and he was doing a live about that he had just gotten diagnosed with stage 4 some kind of cancer. And so he was just talking about it. He was all calm and everything, and he's just talking about it with people. And they're asking them like, well, what is it like? What do you think? You know, all this kind of stuff. And, you know, I wanted to go in there and say, well, you need to just do a parasite cleanse immediately. You need to start doing detox, get all the chemicals out you can out of your house and stuff like that. But it's like, people, you got, like the same thing as what I'm saying. I can't go in and, like, I've gone in and offered information to so many different people and they don't pick up on it. So I got to live by the same thing is what I'm saying, is don't go in and push what I think. You know, the information's out there. If people want to learn how to heal, if people want to learn how to, you know, stop aging, to start taking care of themselves. And it is such a fucking thing too about the whole thing with aging. It is like some people in their 20s decide like, well, I'm aging, so I'm just giving up, you know, oh well, I'm gonna be 30 soon. And then people in their 30s, well, I'm gonna be 40 soon, so I'm just old now. Like it's in all different phases. It's kind of like whatever is programmed into your mind, how you look at aging. And so once they decide that they're old, they just like, fuck it. They don't care. They stop valuing themselves. It's so important for you to continue to value yourself and to take care of yourself. That's what they're showing. And see, that's what they don't see. They're showing that they stopped caring about themselves, that they stopped, you know, valuing their health. Or, but I think so much has to do with mental health. I saw some older woman who was talking about regrets. As I'm telling you, I've said this for, you know, well, I used to know, but it's part of the aging thing, is that people hold on to all these regrets. And that is a part of what ages them, is it's like they're mad at themselves. So many people are mad at themselves that they didn't know something before they knew it. Like, they should have known it. They should have done it different. If they just would have done it different, if they just would have went there that day different, if they just would have, you know, married the other person, they would have had a different life. They just would have, it's like, but that is not what you were coming to do. You can sit there and waste energy and to keep, oh, well, I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have gone that direction. I wish I would have taken that road, you know, but that is not what you were meant to do. You were meant to go where you went and have the experience you had. You can't sit here and formulate the concept or an idea that if you went the other way, nothing would have, everything would have went perfect. That is a miscalculation, as that is not true. There is no right choice. If I just would have done it that way, everything would have went right. Everything would have been perfect. That's not how it goes. That's not what it's meant to go. It's not what you're meant to experience. You're meant to experience hardships. You're meant to experience challenges. You're meant to experience obstacles. That is how you grow. That is how you become, you know, to define yourself, to figure out who you are. To see, that's why everybody stays in this protective, phony-ass world. And nobody challenges themselves. They all just become lazy and dependent. Somebody else take care of me and don't hurt my feelings. And it's like, you got to, for one thing, stop worrying about it if somebody hurts your feelings. Like, you know, I mean, I keep hurting people's feelings all the time. Like, and I'm not even trying. It's like, just being honest hurts people's feelings. It's like, well, I can't, you know, I'm not going to stop talking about what I talk about. I feel like I am, you know, because there is so much of this end of the world, it's the end of the world, and Jesus is coming, and so many, like even conspiracy theorists and stuff, they're not spiritual, and then they start going all in on, what is that called? Not rapture, not Armageddon, Revelations. They all start going in on Revelations, you know. Everybody goes back to the source, back to the book. Let's pull out the book. Let's see what the book says. You know, and I know I've made quotes out of the book before. But I'm, at this point now, I'm thinking like, once I heard that they wrote Revelations like more recently, it's like, okay, well, I think that was a setup. I think that they, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, I used to, I don't know. It's weird because when I was younger, Revelations really stuck out to me. And And I don't know, I must have like known that we were coming to some sort of ending, but I've never felt worried like it was the end of the world. That's the thing, is all these people keep feeling like it's the end of the world. And so I feel like I've got to talk. I've got to speak out and say, no, it's not the end of the world. And if it's the end of anybody's storyline, it's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear. This is, you're not this avatar thing that you think you are. People are just so caught up in this drama and this storyline and this game and this movie, whatever, that they just are too in alignment with it. It's like, that's why you got to connect to your soul so you can, have it's like have a voice of reason out there. Like, people are just too absorbed in the story or something. And it's like, I don't know. I think it's vital to have a connection to something more, something bigger. And I don't know, it's always given me great value and understanding. And I've always trusted my inner guidance. I've always trusted it. And I don't know, that seems to be another thing that people are battling. Like, battling with their intuition. And I told you before, like, your intuition, they're always talking. They're always telling you ahead. And then people get so frustrated when they don't listen. But don't get mad at it. Just get in the groove. Just start realizing you're fine tuning. You're trying to pay attention and listen to something that you're not used to listening to. And so, don't get mad about it and be frustrated. Is to just be more like, oh, I'm always just like, oh crap, I did hear you whispering that, damn it. Just even when that one night, what I had to cleanse my soul, and I still am. Like, I swear to God, the implants thing is like, there was a lot of emotions, a lot of stuff that goes with it. I cannot wait to be cleansed of. I feel like I keep having this go back over in my head. It was like in 6th grade, I think, and I became the vice president of the Itty Bitty Titty Committee. And it was really hurt my feelings. It was my best friend. She was the president. I couldn't even be the president. She was the president. And I always thought she was so much prettier. She died at a really young age, too. It was really sad. But anyways, and she was a stripper. That's what got her. She ended up being a stripper. I think she got into drugs and stuff like that, and had some wreck on Central. Back in the day, Central was like one of the only freeways, and it was smaller. I don't know. It was just the whole thing. It was sad. But anyways, I keep hearing that, and I keep thinking, I'm proud of it. Like, I used to think like, oh, it's so embarrassing. Oh my God, the boys are so mean. And then especially when Dana Grant in school, she was the first girl who really got the big bosoms. And she was stacked, man. And all the boys, and so as flat-chested girls, we were just like, who cares about you? You don't have boobs. And so, anyways, now I feel like I'm going back into that, like, I'm claiming it. I'm ready to take my throne, and I'll step in as president. I mean, there could be some other competition, I'm not sure, but I'll step in as president. Linda's no longer with us, so I'm ready to step on to the throne of the president of the Itty Bitty Titty Committee. Proud to be. So I've only got a couple weeks left, and I'm so excited. And it just keeps I keep having it in my head, like, I'm owning it, man. Something that humiliated me, that just made me feel so bad about myself for so long. And now it's like, I don't know, it's empowering. And that's why I've said, it's like this journey back to yourself. It's like this there's like, at some point, you decided that you weren't good enough, and you started trying to, take all of it's like taking all of these fake things in this world. It's like trying to create something that you're not, because you are what you are. And then in everything that you are is a representation of yourself and what you're trying to work through. And so, and people, even when people like think like, oh, I'm not attractive enough, I'm too ugly, I don't look good enough, and feel bad about it. It's like, you see how mean you're being to yourself, how you're judging yourself. Like, there's people out there who would think you're beautiful just because you can't see your own beauty. And that is something I know is like so common. Even Sarah in the comments, she was saying like she had that same experience. I think so many of us go around feeling like that we feel so awkward. We don't feel like we're attractive. You don't go around seeing yourself as attractive if you don't feel it on the inside, and then when you don't feel it and other people think you are, then they can take advantage of you and stuff. But everybody's got to see their own value and quit trying to judge their attractiveness based on what other people think. And I don't know, because I know that there's some people who, by our social standard, that would be considered like homely, and that seems kind of mean. But why? I mean, where are we coming up with this? Isn't it just but about our eyes only? Isn't it just what we look out at and what we see and what catches our attention? And there's plenty of people that are unusual looking that catch my attention, but then they tell us that we're not allowed to look at them. It's like, but they're very interesting looking. So, you want to look at them. It's like you look around the room and see a million people with perfect noses and brown hair and perfect eyebrows and stuff, and then you see something unusual. It's like, oh, I'd like to gaze at them for a while. My eyes are enjoying this. It's anyways, I just think that we are just all jacked up on seeing things different. Like I feel like I I can see my own self more now. Like I can like how I look now. But it was before, like I couldn't at all. I could not see myself at all. And for anybody to tell me that I was pretty, it was very confusing to me. I couldn't understand it at all. And so, anyways, and it messed with my head. And I know because it really is. If you don't feel like attractive on the inside, you don't see, like, this outer thing does not make the difference that we keep thinking. It's like a distraction. It's like something so we don't have to really work on ourselves. And I swear to God that the more that you start loving yourself, the more attractive you become. You just become more attractive. It just is like, I don't know what happens. I don't know. I don't know. It's like your light starts coming, your joy starts shining. You start feeling more confident and feel happier and it's not because all of a sudden you think like, oh, well, I'm pretty. No, it's because you feel good about yourself. You feel good about yourself on the inside, and then you start seeing yourself of like, oh, you are pretty. You're pretty. Look at you. Look at you. And you start being more loving towards yourself. Because it all has to do with like finding love for yourself. And there's just so much about this, looks and, the outer, the exterior. And then this whole thing with the filters and stuff. And then their whole thing to even get people to get so involved in the filters while they're looking for something or someone or a certain group or something. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they're scanning people's eyes because they're looking for a certain group of people. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they kept eyes on certain people, Like, I don't know. I did see a video, though, where it was another woman who they were saying they were FBI. The people who came to mind were Secret Service. They showed me their badges. They weren't FBI, they were Secret Service. And she said, or she was filming them. I didn't do that. And I tried to be like, you know, like, I've got nothing to hide. I'm not some fucking crazy extremist. I'm not in my house fucking getting the TNT and shit. No, I'm somebody who is mouthy, like, got opinions. And so the and then they, you know, they said they had to evaluate or like do some kind of investigation, you know, to make sure I wasn't crazy or whatever. And they had me sign something to say, you know, yeah, and then they had to talk to some different people, but I didn't feel like I had anything to hide, and it felt like it was the easiest way to get them off my back. And so I was like, you know, I've got nothing to hide. I'm not a weirdo. I'm not crazy. I don't have any weird affiliations or any of that stuff. And so, anyways, I just went on, and it was like 2020. Like, I don't even know now if they showed up like right now. I don't even know. Like, I'm not even gonna try and think of what I would do. But what I did do was, yeah, share my information. But what this lady did, so they showed up at her house for something she posted on Facebook. And so she asked for their IDs or something. So it must have been that they came to her door, and then she said, let me see. And they said, the FBI, you know, we want to talk to you. What do you want about your Facebook post or something? Let me see your IDs. They showed her the ID. And then she must have said, wait a minute, and went in the house to get her phone. And then she came out, and so then she's filming them. And then she's like, okay, go around the corner. So she has them go around the corner because she doesn't want people in her house to see or something. And so they go around the corner in front of her garage. So I don't know if it was because her kids were in there or something. So she goes in front of the garage, and she's filming them. She's trying to get something on them, and you can tell that they're all uncomfortable. And they're like, she's like, show me your badge. And they're like, we already showed you our badge. And she's like, oh, so now you're not going to show us show me your badge. And they're like, we just showed you our badge. No, I want to see your badge now. You're refusing to show me your badge. And she's being super hostile. And it keeps doing that. That to me is like, you're bringing on gang stalking. They will fucking harass you. They will, and I mean, there's people who have said they will kill your dog. They will do all sorts of stuff. Like, I wouldn't be going out there and doing that, like arguing like that and trying to, I don't know. That seemed like if you're trying to show them that you are not, you know, whatever, what, extremist or something, like, that doesn't seem like a good way. Like, that seems like you're going to have a more up your ass. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't, I just thought, like, I don't know, guys. It seems like that there's a lot of people like this hostility is like purging out. So there's a lot, there is. There's just a lot of hostility, a lot of anger, a lot of mistrust, a lot of people self-loathing. There is a lot of toxic shit, man. And think about micro macro, how that was like a whole fucking toxic spill now in the Baltimore River thing. Because now they've got like, oh, well, there's a whole bunch of their crates and just so happen to have hazardous waste. Well, just because the company that's what all they fucking do. And then these people who are just like, oh, well, I think that just happened. It didn't, I was no conspiracy. It's like, oh, okay. So at the same time, another one's blowing up and another one over there. Another, okay. So, and then they'll be the first ones to jump on. Oh, but you know what now, you know, it's like, you gotta like, I don't know. To me, it's like you pay attention and you kind of connect into your inside and see. This is one thing too, because this is what got this lady going. I have no idea, you know, because I am not sharing videos and stuff. And I must have said something. What did I say? Because I did a video about the Nibiru was going to be what's crossing the path of the sun. I know I already talked about that. It's not the moon. And so I think that the government really is freaking out. I mean, now they're going to shoot rockets up there, and they've got comets coming, And they've got so much going on. I think they are so fucking freaked out of us figuring out, like, there's a planet there. And they don't know what the fuck. You know, maybe all they know is it's the end of them. I don't know. But it's not the end for us all. But so, anyways, so this lady had sent me a video about I don't know if she is trying to say that the Baltimore thing is fake, like it didn't really happen or something. And so she's sending me a video and she's saying that's CGI, that's not real. And I don't know, I've said a couple of things like, you know, I mean, I don't even know. I haven't made a whole big old fucking long thing about it though. It's like, lady, what? And so she's telling me, you know, it's fake or whatever. I was like, well, I was up when it was happening and I was watching and there was a whole bunch of videos. So I think it really happened. And so then she starts saying, well, because she's the same one who was like about the doom and gloom, that I was being doom and gloom. And this CGI and like that's fake. Oh, and it's is creating what was it? Now that she had said is that it's creating not just this negative, but all these people who think it's the end of the world. Which I'm never saying that. I even told her, I said, you know, maybe you should go listen to my YouTube content and maybe you'll see where I'm coming from more. It's like, lady, what the hell? And then she was saying that she thought that was fake, whatever, with the videos and something else. I just don't understand. Like, this stuff is all going to keep happening. All this stuff is going to be happening. This is going to be happening until it's just like over with. And these and this is like exposing like the company that did that spill that is has got more problems with spilling in court things. Like, there's going to be like everything that is happening is to lead to more stuff being exposed. So that, you know, once it starts being exposed, it will lead to a whole bunch more things. And that is like what all these different things, you know, like Joe, he's like got fucking threads in all over the place. So it takes down a lot of people. So they put him in to be the one to take it down. And so there's like all these different things that are having situations happen are all to take down more. So it's like, you know, like Diddy. And man, it seems like he's going to take down so many people. And then it's just going to keep going, you know, tumble into the next, into the next, into the next. And I just don't understand these people who, like, and then they think like, I'm like creating an end of the world atmosphere with my, I don't even know, like the way that they look at things is so different. And that's why, like, I'm not going to sit and argue with you. I'm not going to sit here and try and help you, make you see what I see or anything. And I'm definitely not going to see what you see. So it's like, no, there's no reason for us to argue about this. Like, if you think that, you know, I think that, I don't know, it's different people's views on, like, the end of the world. And I don't know if some of them want to, I don't even know. I don't even care. Seriously. It's just, it's exhausting. And I had just seen this other thing. I thought this guy made such a good point. I bet you 100% he's right. Because it has always thrown me is how Magic Johnson got AIDS when I was young, and how he is, you know, because when he had it was like during the AIDS epidemic, and then it was like, how is he still going? And never got sick. This guy said because he was the spokesperson to get everybody else to take the AZT and all that stuff. And he got them to all take it. And so that's why all of them all died and he didn't. I mean, I guess they could even go so far as to just say someone has it who doesn't have it and have him be a spokesperson. But I thought that the thing what the guy said about the meds made sense. It was like, oh my gosh, that is the shit they do. I was looking at what they were trying to get all these different celebrities and stuff, try and force us to take all of these different things, put pressure on us, make us feel bad about ourselves, make us feel rejected. So that is, and that situation, if you didn't live through it, it was treacherous, man. There was so much fear, there was so much death. But there always is another side that comes from things. It was like a lot of people came together. A lot of people started coming together, and it didn't mean like there's like still people who didn't accept gay people. Yeah, it was not like every single person came together, but there was like a lot of people came together in like solidarity of like love and let's find a cure. And so it was like it was really intense times. Like there was I don't know, it's pretty intense now, as I was gonna say. Like there's weird things about hugging and people touching each other and stuff. People were so paranoid, but fuck, look at now. Jesus Christ, they've even gone to like, let's put a barrier up to protect ourselves. So it's even gone more extreme than it was before. So, man, yeah, it was, but it was intense back then. Before we lived through this, that seemed crazy. Now, now this just seems completely insane. And then the people that you see out there who seem to be like the most worried and most scared, they seem to be the sickest. They seem to, look like the greatest. And yeah, because it's the fear. It's the fear is what their problem is. If they would stop being scared and stop hiding and stop thinking like and got more in touch with like God or creator or whatever, then they would know there was nothing to fear, and that they were there to learn to be stronger and healthier, not hide and be scared of germs and stuff. Like, and so many people, they think that they are immunosuppressed and stuff like that. Well, a lot of people are got immunosuppression and issues because everybody's so depleted in minerals and so poisoned with chemicals. So everybody is in a state of resistance to feeling good and being healthy. Everybody just kind of stays in a state of sick. And then they tell us, oh, that's allergies. And it's like, everybody just accepts being sick all the time. And then even when we're hearing about chemicals in our food, chemicals in this, chemicals in that, and we're just all like, well, everything's chemicals. I mean, look at all the steps it takes to get to the point of being like, what the fuck? You putting chemicals in all our shit? Get the fuck out of here with the chemicals. Like, it's a big jump. Like if you were to go from one point to that point, it is a big jump, but it's the stairs. There's like all these steps to get to the point. But once you get to the point, you're at the point. It's like, there's no going back. There's no like accepting it anymore. And then when you see people who are sick, you can't help but be like, well, you got to cleanse yourself. You got to detox. You got to take better care of yourself. You got to change your lifestyle. That's the thing, is like, it's this a complete lifestyle change. And to also include the healing your stuff, and not going through your life just, packing the closet full of regret so that you get to a point where you just wish you were dead because you've got so much regret and so many mistakes you've made, and you just want to spend all your time hating yourself. You got to figure out how to let go of things, how to love yourself, how to accept yourself, and how to champion yourself, how to notice the good things and see like the good things you've done and the things that you're proud of. Don't just stay focused on the parts of yourself that you think are stupid and you wish that you had done different. And I'll tell you what, there is some damn like, there's so much ignorance out there that is so full of arrogance. Like the amount of arrogance that goes with ignorance at this point is just like they are bloated. Like they are bloated and ready to pop. Man, they harass you. They harass you. Like they think they've got so much. It's like, dude, I do not have time for your nonsense. You got so much time in the day. You're so needy. You need somebody to banter with. Go find somebody else. I'm not going to talk you through the firmament and why I'm not a Christian and how I believe in the firmament when I'm not. It's like, fuck off. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Like, honestly. And I don't know if I'm just getting to be like hardened or something because of, like I said, there's so many people coming at me with so many things. It's either, some of it is, I mean, like I talk to you guys and stuff all the time, and there's like lots of just pleasant conversations. Hey, hey, hey. And just, throwing things back and forth about, perspective and experience and stuff. And that's not what I'm talking about. That's not the kind of conversations I'm talking about. Those are all like, enjoyable, where you feel like you're building relationships and you're getting to know people and then you're having deeper conversations. That's not what I'm talking about. TikTok has always got this other super shallow side. This, everything's, so it's not as, like they don't know what I'm talking about. They don't know my view on things. And so I'm just, saying some little tidbit. And, but I think that what really got a bunch of people was the copper thing. I'm talking about the copper thing, but that is not all my content is not just about, copper and aging and stuff. Mine is about mentally healing and spiritually healing. It has to do with awareness, and the awareness isn't to scare you and have doom and gloom. It's to build up your strength and your power to know like none of that stuff can hurt you. None of this stuff can hurt you. All of these things, like if you feel fearful towards something, that's because you don't feel powerful, that you feel like you are powerless, and that there's something that is creating that fear in you. So that's what you're there to work through, not hide from it, not tell everybody, you run across, don't talk about it. It might hurt my feelings. It might scare me or something. I've had so many people tell me, like I'm just too intense, I'm too scary and stuff like that. It's like, I don't find it scary. Like, I don't know why you find it scary, but I don't find it scary. So you want me to react to your emotions, although I don't feel your emotions. Like, I'm reacting to my emotions. And my emotions is about awareness and seeing what is happening and talking about it. And, and all the things and all the emotions it brings up and what this period of time is really for, this reflection and, what was life like before and what is this transition and where are we going and, and all of the stumbling to get to where we're going. And it's all a part of it. You can't just ignore it. You can't just, and when I don't understand how there's people who don't see the conspiracy around them, that they cannot see that there is a dark force that has been in control for eons, and they are trying to hold on to their power, and they are doing anything. Hell yeah, they'll send a ship over and knock into a, like they'll do way worse than now. We've got so many people, all the ones that I just call instigators, these people who have come from other places. I think they're like terrorists, cartel, all these, they're lifelong criminals. They get paid to do bad things, and they've planted them everywhere. and they're there to wreak havoc. Is that how it's called? Wreak havoc on us, to, you know, create tension and fear. Like, they can't go around and get us all. There's way too many of us, but they can really build it up. They can, you know, some horrible, and they'll make sure it's horrible thing that happens, and then replay it, and then, you know, like, they're just creating all this chaos and nonsense just to keep people upset and scared. And you have to work through it. You have to work past it. You have to, you know, question yourself and get yourself to the point where you understand that you're eternal, that there's nothing here in this game that can hurt you, that even in their leaving the game situation, that you aren't hurt, that your character that leaves the game for everyone else's approval leaves in some kind of a manner, some kind of a dramatic effect, to have an effect on people, because that's what we are here to do, is affect one another so that we can grow and heal. And it isn't not just healing. Like, it's like growing perspective. Like, maybe you don't have to heal every single thing. Maybe you can just look at some things and just see it and be like enlightened to the possibility. You just can see it and be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's like, I totally get it. You know, you don't have to go through some kind of healing and purging and letting go of things, you know. I mean, things will get easier like that too. I mean, there's going to be a lot of that's going to come up, though, pretty soon. There's going to be a lot of people who are going through that at the same time. So it's going to be intense. Anyways, I feel like I'm like been all over the place. So you can see why I had to come in and talk. It was like, I still feel like there's like a whole bunch of things, but it feels like it's kind of like all muddied. Like, I've been over here stomping in that puddle, and it's like I gotta calm my mind or something. So I don't know. I'll probably come and talk some more tomorrow, because it does seem just like intense. Everything seems super intense. I'm sure everybody's feeling like the intensity, and there is like the Schumann is having crazy stuff. I mean, we're definitely building to this switcheroo, this something happening. And I really could be that the Nibiru thing going and people seeing it, and I don't know. It seems like they're going to create more of a spectacle, shooting rockets and stuff, and comets coming, and I don't know. Like, if that day goes through and just like nothing, and then we all just sit there, I will kind of be surprised. I kind of really feel like there's an expectation that something's going to happen in the sky, because of, like, I mean, we've got comets that they're saying are coming called the devil comets, and they're going to launch 3 rockets. Like, why in the world? And they're going to aim them to the middle of the sun or something. And the sun is a fucking portal. And there's some guy who has some footage that was like, I can't even explain his whole thing. It was his whole, I can try and find the video though. But he was saying, and I had said this a long time ago, but this guy was saying it because of something he could see. But there is the sun, but then they've got like a light or something. No, it's like like I kept saying it was like when you had the magnifying glass. When you're a little kid, there was always some kid who would have the magnifying glass with the sun, and he's popping ants and stuff, and amazing, all the kids with his magic. But that's how I always saw it. It's like they've put some kind of a magnifying glass or something to kind of aim it at us or something. There's something weird. And he said they're blocking it or putting it through a lens or something. So something like what I was saying. And but the Nibiru thing is going to go in front of the fake sun, I think. I don't think it's the real sun. So I don't know. And there was, what was that one? Because that one was kind of weird too. Because somebody got these pictures where it's like the moon, right underneath it another moon, underneath it another moon. Oh, no, maybe it was the sun person who was saying that's why people keep seeing the two suns, because one of them is the sun and the other one is like the lens or whatever to like reflect the sun or something. So anyways, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm just all over the place, but I'll probably be all over the place again tomorrow. So remember to love yourself and to love everyone and have a loving day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.